Section 4.2.15. Is there a relation between the age difference between husband and wives and the percent of a country that is literate? Researchers found the least squares regression between age difference, husband age minus wife age, Y, and literacy rate, percent of the population that is literate, X, is the equation Y, which is equal to negative 0.0602x plus 6.3. The model applied for the values of x being in between 15 and 100 inclusive. We're going to complete parts A through E below. We're going to interpret the slope. So if we take a look at the slope here, the slope is this value here, which is negative 0.0602. So the slope, negative 0.602, is the change in age difference, which is the Y, for a 1 unit increase in literacy rate, which is X, on average. Therefore, for every unit increase in literacy rate, the age difference falls, because it's negative, by 0.0602 units on average. Now, does it make sense to interpret the Y-intercept? Well, the Y-intercept of a line is found by letting x equal to 0 and solving for y. Let's just go ahead and do that and see what happens when we set that equal to 0. So if we want to solve for y, okay, we're going to let x equal 0. So this is negative 0.0602 times 0 plus 6.3. So if we solve for y, we end up getting, this is 0, this is 6.3. Now if you take a look up here, the model means that the value has to fall within 15 and 100. Therefore, the y-intercept of this model is where the literacy rate is 0. So a literacy rate of 0% is possible, but it is outside of the scope of the model. So it does not make sense to interpret the y-intercept, because the value of x is outside of this model here. Now, in part C, it says predict the age difference between husband and wife in a country where the literacy rate is 49%. So we're going to use this 49, and we're going to let that equal x. And we're going to plug it into our equation. So y is going to equal negative 0.0602, substituting x to be 49 plus 6.3. When we solve that, we get y, which is equal to 3.4. So the predicted age difference for a country where the literacy rate is 49% is about 3.4 years. Okay, now it says, would it make sense to use this model to predict the age difference between husband and wife in a country where the literacy rate is 8%? Well, a literacy rate of 8% is possible and is outside the scope of the model. It does not make sense to predict the age difference between husband and wife in a country where the literacy rate is 8%. In part E, it says the literacy rate in a country is 97%, and the age difference between husbands and wives is 2 years. Is this age difference above or below the average age difference among all countries whose literacy rate is 97%? Well, we're going to let x equal 97% and plug it into our equation. So we get y, which is equal to negative 0.0602 times 97 plus 6.3. When we multiply that out, we get 0.5. The age difference of 2 years in this particular country is above the average of 0.5 years.